Hello. Welcome to another episode of Agony Aunt. Pew, 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 ow. Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful week. And as promised, we have another evening episode. And we're still sticking with the six brown chicks. The responses to last week's episode made it very clear that you prefer these stories, and honey, so do I. So, without further ado, let's get into the stories. And as per usual, well, I guess this is only the second time, but there are six stories. Oh, I've only seen the first two sentences of the first story, and I'm already enraged. I'm so upset. Okay, let's let's get into it. Now, story number 1. My ex, aka my baby mama, has the audacity to try and level up with my son without me. I met her in the project, and that's where she belongs. She's changing her routine, taking night classes, and she met a lanky, nerdy dude that's helping my son with homework. He took them apartment hunting. I tracked her phone and rolled up on them. I was gonna knock him out. I approached him with my hand in my pocket, and before I could do anything, he was smiling at me with his Glock shoved in my stomach. He did it so smooth that my baby mama thought we were just talking. But this psycho was smiling as he told me that he would end me in my sleep and never get caught. She's in love, so I'm trying to put another baby in her to put an end to this. But she refuses to creep with me. Advice. How about it? Haters are gonna hate. How about it? Some people just don't want to see you prosper and would do anything. They would fight tooth and nail to see you fail. Babu Akabatwaso. What is this guy doing with his life? Hauna next emanate in his life. He's not happy with his life, so he's deciding to steal happiness from someone else. And ha this thing of trying to put another baby in her because he thinks all she deserves is the project. There are levels. There are levels to the fuckery in in this story because how dare how dare he decide what she does and doesn't deserve? And to not only think that, but to then try and act on it, to try and force her to live within the confines of his imagination of her, because he thinks that she doesn't deserve more, therefore nothing in her life can say otherwise. No, bitch. She has decided that she wants more for herself, and she's met someone who agrees with her, who is willing to support her, and in fact step in as a father to the child that you are clearly not involved in raising. And the only time you want to show up is to do what? To threaten her new man? Ugh, gross. Gross. There's no advice for you. You're far gone. You're just a waste of space. Get a life. Get a life. Ew. Anyway, I'm upset, but we need to move on. So let's get on to story number 2. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. So here it says, I was miserable and I felt trapped in my 3-year marriage. I was plotting my divorce when my wife became pregnant. Oh, that's sad. She doesn't have a glowing pregnancy. She's rude, emotional, and sick all the time. I hinted that if she's too sick, that she should think about ending the pregnancy. She stared at me and said, "Get rid of our baby so you can be free?" Nah, boo. We're locked in for life. But no, we're not. A baby doesn't keep a husband. I've met someone better and I'm ready to move on. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I won't be around when this kid grows up, and I don't think she would make a decent single mom. Time is ticking. How do I convince her to abort before it's too late? Oh, Tito. Another one. Another one. What is this? What is this thing of, having babies to trap people? Like you're making a whole entire human being to spite someone else. Just go to therapy, guys. Go to therapy instead of doing this to people. Because one of batho tlo hola jwang? Ha ngwana ona a hola a bona hore the only reason why you're here is because your mom was trying to trap your dad. Or it was all just a game to them, that no one was actually thinking about you as a human being. They actually didn't give a shit that you existing is the same as them having a dog. Like they honestly couldn't care. You were merely just a pawn in their little game. And now whoever's stuck with you, they're the one who lost. Imagine. Your existence is not even a consolation prize. Oh, oh, this is so sad. This is so sad. People need to stop having children. Just don't have children. If you're not in a happy relationship, a child is never going to fix it. No matter how much you think that maybe having a baby will bring you closer together, that's not going to happen. Especially for the hands, where your man is in the streets, where your man doesn't treat you right, and you think, well, if I give him a child, then he'll love me and I'll, forever be his whatever. No, bitch. There are already three other hands that have his kids, and he just didn't tell you about it. And they thought the same thing. And it didn't work for them. Why do you think it's going to work for you? And then the guys who, don't want you, but don't want you to be with anyone else. So they put a baby in you, and now you let them. And then what? Why? Because they just want to keep you stagnant. They don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to grow. They see your potential, and it scares them a little because they don't see that potential in themselves. So they're going to snuff out your light before you get too bright, before you figure out how amazing you are, because clearly you haven't figured it out yet because you're still fucking around with niggas like them. So while you're still blind to your own greatness, they're gonna trap you there with a child. Like, anyway, I'm so upset. And I don't know why I'm letting these stories upset me. It's not happening to me, but it's happening to someone. And that's what's pissing me off. Anyway, let us move on to story number 3. Number 3. I was creeping with the guy next door. I'm still on good terms with his live in girlfriend. Both of us are getting evicted. Hibana. I asked him to collect my packages and keep an eye on my apartment while I went on my birthday cruise. I returned home and this man changed the locks to my apartment and locked me out. Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. Does she live with this guy? No. He lives next door and she knows his girlfriend. Anyway, okay. So she goes on the birthday cruise, gives him the keys to, I guess, look after her place. And when she comes back, she's been locked out. The police said that it's a civil matter since I gave him access to my place. The apartment management said that I'm 6 months behind on rent. I might as well wait until the eviction and get my things when they're on the curb. He was evicted when I was at sea. Oh. He and his girlfriend stored their things in my place and have been hiding out there. I see. I refuse to spend my 30th birthday money on rent, but I'm spending much more on motels. He's a good man. I know his girlfriend is making him do this to me. Advice. Wait, see. Some people by deserve who's you are waiting. You just told a long ass story about how this guy, and I understand both of you are not paying your rent. So, Lady Para Lily Babedi. Then, in you not paying your rent, you decide to go on a cruise while you're 6 months behind on rent. You tell yourself, "Hore, angeke uspende tšhelete ya birthday on rent. How dare? How dare?" And now, because you decided, "Hore, oje joy, ne, o no batla ho ja joy." Motho wa batho le yena ba mo kobile, and he decided, "Look, I've got a key, you know, problem solved. There's an empty apartment that I have the keys to, might as well live there." And now you can't get in your own apartment because Home Slice has changed the locks. And then you want to tell us that he's a good person, even though he's okay with you being homeless. And you're saying that his girlfriend made him do it. How are you a good person when you can't stand up for yourself? If he really and truly is against everything that's happening and that he would never put someone out on the street, how is he so easily influenced? Hmm? So you're going to tell me that a good man is someone who doesn't have a backbone? That makes zero sense. Mara vele, you don't have a history of making good life choices. So what can we expect? Sometimes we just need to let people be. They're living in their own world, and in their world, such life choices make sense. So who are you to say that they're not living right, that they're not doing the right thing? Who are you? Because for them, it makes sense. It makes sense for them to be creeping with the neighbor, for them to break into your place. And also, how expensive is a cruise? Well, I guess cruises are expensive. So you decided to stop paying rent for 6 months for a cruise? You clearly can't afford it. Oh gosh. Anyway, who am I to say? Because Linda and Zeki so nobody here knows how to make good financial choices. Now, guys, rent yona. It's too much. Story number 4. And I'm sorry if my voice isn't sounding as sexy and sultry as it usually is. I am coming off a very horrible flu that just, hey, you know, to wash in it for 2 minutes. Anyway, story number 4. When we married 8 years ago, my wife was in college and working 2 jobs to take care of her 3 kids. I married her, we had a son together, and then she dropped out, stopped working, and lays around on her phone all day. My one job doesn't pay enough for us to live decently, but she refuses to help out. She says she needs to be home to raise our son. He's 5 now, but she's too lazy to enroll him in kindergarten. And she expects the other kids to do all the chores. Teens don't clean up, and so we live in trash. The only time she rolls off the couch is to collect her Amazon packages off the porch. I don't want to abandon my wife and kids, but I'm almost there. Advice. Oh, this is a sad one. This is a really sad one. I don't know why I would suggest that your wife see a therapist, Waity. Definitely. Because she might have had like some serious postpartum depression that was never really addressed. Um, yeah, because what is with this? Like something, usually, well, okay, in my experience of working with kids, right, and in my training and all of that, this is oftentimes like a sign of a child experiencing like a traumatic event, right? When suddenly there's like a quick shift in behavior and attitude and not being social, like the fact that she's always in the house, not even wanting to do sort of the social task of enrolling the child because the enrollment process is not cute. Trying to get your child into a school is a mission. So she's withdrawn from society, her behaviors and habits have changed, and she's suddenly just become a different person. So for me, if I was dealing with a child, I'd want to investigate whether there's some sort of traumatic event that's happened. And here it says, oh, he says that I married her, we had our son together, and she dropped out. Like these are the series of events. So I'm assuming that if it happened in that order, maybe the birth of their child was a traumatic experience for her, right? And she hasn't recovered from that or hasn't had the right support to fully heal from that. And she's kind of stuck in that moment now for whatever reason. So kudos to you for like reaching out and asking for advice because at least it shows that you still care. But I think asking random people on the internet is not the answer. You should definitely take your wife to see a therapist, a psychiatrist, someone to sort of assess what's happening here. But yeah, I think that would be the thing to do, and maybe to have couples counseling as well. Because I can imagine how, oh, maybe this person should also see. Give me a second. This person should also see a therapist privately, and that they should also maybe see one together. I know on one salary it doesn't seem feasible, but there are a lot of um, places where you can go where there are like free sessions or like NGOs that you can reach out to that give you like a limited number of free sessions with like training psychiatrists and stuff like that. It's not the best care, that you could get, but at least you're dealing with someone who knows what they're doing, right? They're in some sort of like internship and they just need the experience. But they've graduated and they've got the chops. It's not some first year who's trying to dig around in your brain and not know what's happening. Um, but yeah, I would say look into those sort of avenues where you can get access to free care and support for the whole family, really, so that everyone can sort of recover from this dysfunction that's been happening for what I assume has been 5 years now. So yeah, that's what I would suggest. Yeah, because I think the whole family would need to recover and would need to heal from what's been going on in the state that they've been living in, especially the the older kids, right, who know their mother to be someone else entirely. It must be really jarring for them as well. All right, let's do number 5. Okay, number 5. On Thanksgiving, my child told me, almost in a whisper, that grandma is gonna die on Christmas. I punished her for saying such an ugly thing. Lo and behold, my mother passed away in her sleep on the 24th of December. Wow, damn. My child's presence soothed me, and it helped me with my grieving process. I imagine that my daughter still has a connection with my beloved mother, or at least she has premonitions. I asked my child when I was going to pass away. My daughter hugged me and buried her head in my arms. She had tears in her eyes. She tells me, when mommy finds out about your girlfriend. Hectic. I've been so careful so no one knows about my girlfriend. We use burner phones, we're discreet at work, we link at motel 40 miles away from town. What more can I do to conceal my fear? My wife can be the violent type. She stabbed her own brother when he stole her credit card. I'm afraid to take that dirt nap. Help. Oh, this is easy. Stop cheating, home slice. Stop cheating. Don't marry a violent woman and then do things like this. You stab your brother over a credit card. What more you? Vele vele, you're gonna die, fam. And I don't even think that the child has any sort of special powers. It's just common sense. It's just common sense, fam. She sees her mother. She knows what her mother's like. And clearly, you're not that discreet with your phone. And it's probably because you're not as careful when you're around your kids because you don't think that the children are smart enough to put two and two together. And clearly, your daughter knows all the numbers and knows how to add them up. So she knows that number one, you're cheating. And number two, mom moonlights as a WWE SmackDown wrestler. She's the Undertaker. So, hello. Come on now. You better start looking forward to that dirt nap because it's coming for you, baby. It's coming for you. All right. Here is our final story. Number 6. I come from a long line of alcoholics. Thus, I've never had a drink. I smoke crack though, but I've always kept a job and a decent enough life. But it's like people who are saying like, "Oh no, I'm a virgin, but I do anal." Intense, intense. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to the story. Basically, this person is saying that they're a functioning crackhead. They manage to maintain a job and their life seems normal, so all's Gucci. And it could be worse. They could be an alcoholic, but they're not. They don't touch the stuff. It's just a little crack, fam. A little crack between friends means nothing. Ugh, lol. Anyway, let me get back to the story. So, my plug, i.e., drug dealer, says cocaine shipments are hard to get these days, so he's transitioning from crack to locally made meth. That statement alone, locally made, is like it's organic. It's some premium stuff now. He gave me a hit and I ruined my life in a week. I slept with everybody and anybody who would come to my bed. Bed bugs, brackets real and imaginary, feasted on my skin. I scratched myself until I bled. I didn't sleep for days. A sex partner told me I was running outside, dead of winter, wearing nothing but boots. So he and my neighbor brought me back home. I'm sure the three of us had sex. I lost my job for trying to have sex in a storage closet, but I loosely recall taking nasty pics and making XXX videos with others while I was high. I'm living with my sister. I changed my appearance and I'm trying to find another job, but the shame is consuming me. I see men in the street smiling at me knowingly, and I wonder if they have me on video doing nasty things. I'm losing my mind. Meth scared me, and I vowed never to go back. But I want to hit meth just one more time. to forget what I've done. Help. Oh, oh, it's a lot. Kuningi, Kuningi. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, sweetheart. I don't know what to tell you because you should have just had alcohol, babes. Like rather. Should have just had alcohol or acknowledged that alcohol wasn't the issue in your family, that you guys just have a predisposition to getting addicted to things. And that that's the core problem here. That as a family, none of you are willing to raw dog life, to face your demons, and to address whatever problems you're having, that you're choosing to numb yourself. And it could be that just in general, you're all a really sensitive bunch and life just hits you at a higher level than the rest of us. So you need something to balance you out. But you clearly went a little bit too far with the meth, babes. And what do you think the meth is going to do this time? You're still going to be gallivanting in the streets naked, and this time with your new identity. That identity is going to be burnt as well. How many sisters do you have? How many people can you move in with? How many names are you going to make up? And like, think about your hair as well. Changing your hair color again and again and again. Just accept that that's what happened and let it be the only time that that ever happened. But if you have meth again, it's gonna be a lifestyle. No one can say that you didn't know anymore. It can't just be an innocent mistake, a misunderstanding, that you confused your drugs, and that maybe you just need to find another dealer, one who's still interested in selling crack. Rather that, girl. Rather that. Get your life back on track. But taking meth again? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Not a good idea. Whoa, damn. Okay, well, that wraps it up. And I am shooketh, is all I can say. I have no idea how people live these lives. And this is what I was saying last time when I was going through these stories. Is that like there's someone real on the other end of the story, typing this out and living this life. How is that possible? How is it possible that there's someone roaming the streets here with a fake name and dyed hair, hiding from the fact that the whole world knows what their booty hole looks like because they were high on meth, and not just any meth, locally made meth, organic, free range meth. I don't know. Anyway, let me not get too judgmental. I mean, I've done some crazy things in my life. This crazy? No. But everyone's everyone's capacity for crazy is different. Everyone's window of tolerance is different. So, if these episodes do nothing for you, let they help you be a more empathetic and understanding person when you realize that you know what? Hwanyiwa kantle ka mun. Anyway, I will see you all next week. Have a lovely Wednesday evening, and I love you all very much. Share with your friends. Let's kiki. Let's talk about these stories because wow. Also, which story was the craziest out of all of these? Which one was the most like unbelievable, like what the fuck story? Message, comment, reply, do the things. I mean, we're all tech savvy. You know what to do. Bye.